my video isn't being blocked out. Okay, sweet. Thanks for joining me. Let me cut out the chat because we take this. This is gonna be a serious upload. Hello. Oh shoot! Let me turn off the air too. Okay, sorry, I always forget to turn off the air. Alright, hello. Thank you for joining me. This is a live stream. My name is Bird. This is going to be a different kind of video today. I usually do collective oracle readings. I am a psychic medium, baby shaman, oracle reader here on YouTube. What is that noise? Sorry, what? There's some really strange noise going on over there that doesn't usually happen. It's kind of creeping me out. I usually provide more spiritual points of view when looking at certain things. I don't always talk about ghosts, but typically I pick up on personalities, addictions, habits, etc. So I thought it would be pretty interesting to see what was going on behind the Titan submarine implosion. I'm gonna do my best to pick up on like the most essential things because I do pick up on everything, you know, sometimes. I was inspired by Aphrodite. I'm like kind of a big fan of theirs, and I thought it would be really interesting if I could use my own style of reading, oracle reading, just to see what kind of information I could pick up and add to it. I have never ever read on a public case before in my life, so this is very new. This is, you know, in live time. You're going to be watching me do this for the first time in my life, basically read on something to do with like the public and have to do with like real life people. So this is kind of exciting. But anyways, if you like how I read this, or if you have any other information that might connect the dots to what I'm saying, or any revelations, feel free to drop a like or a comment or email me directly at jungleintuitive@gmail.com. I don't have any direct correlation to anybody in this case. I don't know anybody directly at Ocean Gate or anything like that. So thanks for joining me. It's a little bit different. And if you would like to donate, my cash tag is in the description. So thank you. Okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna frickin' do this. Cause I'm such, you know, usually I do like more spiritual readings. So this is gonna be very, yeah, it's gonna be very spiritual. Let me hit up the sound cleanse, and then we're gonna see what I could pick up on this whole situation. What happened, maybe days leading up to it. What was the whole mindset? I turned off the chat for this one because I really want to see completely like what I pick up without anybody, you know, throwing in any spoilers from the news. Because I'll be real with you, I barely glazed over videos about it, honestly. I just understood like that the submarine. So there's like this submarine that people. How do I say this? Basically what happened is the Titan submarine is this submarine that was owned by this guy named Rush Stockton, and I guess they like, it's like a very experimental underwater I can't even talk, underwater vehicle that can go very deep, like deeper than other submarines, and kind of function very differently, very experimentally. It was not even classed. I don't even think it was classed by, you know, whoever I'm sorry, I'm not like super familiar with like naval terms or like whatever's going on over in the ocean because I know there's like different authorities over there, but basically it was like an unclassed watercraft. Basically, that's what it was called, and it had the ability to hold like what 9 people. It was like a little submarine, but it was like a submarine. It's basically like a small thing that you cram these people in, right? Um, and they can basically go all the way down to the Titanic, and it takes them like 2 hours. Sorry, my way of explaining this is really bad, so sorry. But you could look it up. But basically, it takes you 2 hours to get down to the Titanic. Their submarine, basically, the specialty is that they can go and like explore down there, and they charge tourists like I think like $200,000 or something around there, or more than that. I don't know. Like basically a big chunk of money to like sit in there and like literally go all the way down there to see the Titanic, the sunken Titanic at the bottom of the sea, like in real life, through like a porthole, like a big window, circle window in the front of the vehicle. Um, and what happened is that on one of these tours, because it's a tour, people rent to go on here. On one of the tours, the submarine went missing. Like they lost communication about 2 hours into diving in, and then they lost all communication. Like they couldn't track it. There was no way for them to come up because there's. It's kind of strange, right? I'm guessing that like maybe they had like a malfunction with like coming back up or something, and then communicating and yeah, and basically, and the submarine has a 96-hour air capacity. So they really rushed that time like after they like figured out the communication wasn't working and basically everybody like on the coast guard and like all like international navy and everything was looking for that submarine or submersible or whatever they called it for those 96 hours. And then they found a debris field, which means it's basically like a pile of stuff that is left over from the submarine at the bottom of the ocean floor. Right next to the Titanic. This fucking. Yeah. Rest in peace. It's an intense story. Uh, it's really sad. I think like one of the people on there, a few people, I think one person on there, no, like at least 3 people didn't have a good feeling about going on the trip, and I think they canceled. Like at least 3 people, just from looking at the vehicle, and like that was a big. I don't know. That's like a really big public display of having a hunch, like really following their intuition, and it really played out. You know what I mean? Not to be disrespectful at all, but wow. Anyways, that's kind of my gist of what happened. They're trying to figure out what happened. I feel like I have an idea of what might have happened, honestly, but we're gonna see if there was anything weird or hairy or what was really going on, and if anything I also want to find out if anything spiritual was involved with that area, like if the Titanic wreck has like some sort of Bermuda Triangle effect. Do you know what I mean? Like, is there a spiritual haunted aspect to the sunken Titanic? Maybe I can look into that. I also have, so what I use is my playing cards here, if you're new here, and my homemade oracles. So there's just like pictures drawn on them. I also have some palm reading cards. So this is going to be really weird and interesting. I'm sorry if I took too long to explain that, and thank you for joining me. Okay, let's start with the sound cleanse. Sweet. Okay, let me turn this Okay. So, you know what's interesting is that I remember the Ocean Gate thing, I think from when I was in elementary school, because in elementary school, that when I was in elementary school in the 2000s, like around 2001, 2002, yeah, I'm aging myself now. I remember in the news they had just figured out a way to take more pictures of the Titanic. And I think it was that company, was it? I don't know if you guys can correct me in the comments, but I feel like it was Ocean Gate because that vehicle is very familiar. But it was like back in those days. Um, I guess they were like the first company to be able to do that, or one of the first. And but I didn't know that they were selling tours. But I'm just gonna figure out what's okay. What should I ask? 'Cause I've never read on something like this. Let me see what. Let me ask about the owner of the company of Ocean Gate. Let's paint a picture of like who was involved here and oh wow okay. Um, let's ask what was this person's intentions? The owner of Ocean Gate. The guy was on the tour, wasn't he? He was the one on this submersible, right? Right? Like I said, I only glazed over the news. I didn't really. I tried to watch it. I couldn't really grasp a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So this is really interesting. What is going on with this situation? Okay, so first card that really pops out to me, maybe 68, 49, and 31 is significant. 27 could be significant. Anxious, confused emotions, dreamy, highly critical, compassionate. So that's the card that I really felt drawn to describing the owner of the Ocean Gate company. Here we go. And the mindset. A gap. Okay, let's see. Major lines. A gap between the start and headline. So this person's very outspoken and impulsive. 36 could be a significant number. I feel like, can I not be, by the way, this is for entertainment purposes only, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, I'm just trying to say, like, what I see here. I have a feeling that maybe this person was a little bit, I have a feeling that this guy is kind of a little bit mentally not fully there, I'll be real with you. I feel like the owner of Ocean Gate, you know how they were saying he's like very confident in his watercraft and his experiments and stuff. I feel like they've taken this thing on too many times. It feels like the Ocean Gate submarine at this point was kind of like a used school bus. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but the condition feels like a used school bus. Do you know what I mean? I'm sitting in it right now, and I feel like. Have you ever sat on a public school bus before? And the smell, you know, or like a lower budget airline, you know, that's been sat in a few times, and you're just kind of like hoping to God that this doesn't fucking crash like Spirit Airlines. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm so sorry to like, what the researchers did was really cool, and whoever engineered that, that's definitely a very cool feat, to their credit. But like the feeling of the condition of this submersible feels very rickety. Do you know what I mean? I don't, and so I think they're showing me the mindset of Rush, and I think it's because it's like, how could you look at this thing and sit in it and be so confident in it for years, because I'm sitting in it right now and like things aren't working, like things are like breaking off, or it just doesn't seem like the best quality, like I'm thinking of like Spirit Airlines, or like what's that one that starts with the, or like Delta, It's giving me like maybe Delta vibes or something. It's like not the best. It's been sat in a few times. The controller thing is not like it's been used. They don't have another one. They probably don't make the factory that makes certain things like that, like the controller, probably don't exist anymore since the 2000s. Like, shit's outdated. He's anxious. Rush is anxious. The days leading up, he's anxious and he's confused. But he feels like there's a dream. He feels like the strength of his dream is stronger than reality. I feel like that's what this is. So I think they're telling me this because they're showing me the condition of the submarine, and they're showing me that it's very like not the best condition, and it's like it's like he's trying to sell a dream. It's like he's trying to sell it to these people like, oh, it's very luxurious, it's amazing, it's safe. Like I'm trying to figure out if he's trying to talk it up to these people, like if he's really trying to sell them bullshit and he knows that it's breaking down and that it's low-key a little bit bullshit and he's not, you know, repairing it right or something like that, or this is cheap. It's giving me cheap vibes, I'm sorry. I think that he's compassionate though. It says he's compassionate. I feel like he starts to feel bad. I think a few days before he was starting to feel bad about something. Like guilty. Like he know I feel like the days leading up to this tour, Rush was given some sort of information from somebody, and it was like it made him a little bit anxious, but he's a very ambitious person. I think he's a very strong manifester. I think he manifested this company really well for a lot of years. I'm going to be really honest. Sorry to sound stupid and cuckoo for saying that. In my words, my terminology, I feel like he really manifested the hell out of this company. And so I think he's very used to things going a certain way because he just like kind of low-key willed things into play. Like it's kind of like giving me the vibe of like, if you're confident enough, you know, people will believe you. If you're confident in things, people will believe what you're telling them. And I don't think he was fully lying to these people. I think that he really did believe in this submersible because he's been in it 1,000 times himself, probably. Or maybe not 1,000, probably like a few times. But there's a little tiny part in his brain that's anxious. There was a little tiny part in his mind days leading up to this tour that was a little confused. I think there's something someone told him a few days before the tour that changed his faith. But before whatever whoever told him this, I'm gonna figure out what it is. It could be a malfunction. It could be like something about how they didn't have enough time to repair this shit. I think someone came up to him and said like, yo, like, I know we have a tour scheduled, but there's something that we have to fix on the submersible. I think there's something we really need to replace, but the factory isn't, or whoever makes the material to replace the shell or replace whatever this isn't going to have it done for like a while, for a few months. And it's not safe. It's not safe to take this thing down. And I feel like he was kind of like asking, he might have asked, or he might have been in the mood of like, what is the mileage we can get out of this? Like, can we get it to last like one more ride? Because, you know, I actually already have this scheduled. I went out of my way to go meet these people. I kind of invested a lot of faith in this ride, and I've been in it myself. I feel like this thing is pretty hardy. I feel like he's kind of like a little bit self-deluded. So I don't think he was 100% sure that day they were gonna crash, because of course he got on it himself. I think that he really just trusted in it. He really just trusted in the craft that it would ride one more time before I think they had a plan after this one more ride to shut it down temporarily, like hiatus the submersible, and go do what that engineer was trying to say, or whoever this mechanic was. There was a mechanic that saw something tear or break, and they were like, yo, we need to replace this, and the guy whoever owned this company, he was like, I don't want to disappoint them. There's like a like because he's a businessman. He's giving me like a businessman vibe. Like he's like, I've never failed any tour. I've never like had, because then it would show that my machine isn't as good as I've been saying it is. Like there's like kind of a little bit of a pride thing here. Like, well, it's, he's like, well, if I had to cancel it and get it replaced, then people will think that it's broken, that it's not safe to ride, and that no one's gonna want to ride the submarine. So if these people, there's a vibe. You know what it is? There was a vibe of like, if these people that are coming up right now know about this repair, that this big repair we need to do, they might leak to other people that we are broken, that our submersible is broken and not trustworthy to go into such a scary situation. So I feel like there is something that happened to that guy, that mechanic. Maybe he got fired. I think I heard he got fired or he quit or something. He signed it. They had him sign like an NDA or something like that. I think they had someone sign an NDA. Making it difficult for you to achieve your goals. Yeah. There was a negative indication with Ring of Saturn. There was a negative indication that was saying that it was going to make it hard for him to achieve this. And that's what made him anxious, confused. It changed his faith in the machine. I think for the first time, he might have even been nervous. For the first time in doing one of these tours, he might have been nervous. Because I feel like that guy wasn't quiet about it. He was like, listen to me. That guy was serious. That engineer or whoever that mechanic was, he was like, listen to me. You really need to not let these people on here. It can't go one more ride. Because like I said, it feels like a public school bus is about to break down. Like it's getting janky. It's like it's gone on too many tours. It's like there's too much pressure on it. Like we don't even have another one of these. It would have been better, honestly, if they built a whole second one. If they had made more money to make like a second one to replace it and no one knew about it. Because it's making me think of the Jaws ride at the Universal Studios for some reason. They always have like a second shark. I'm kind of thinking of a second shark. Like, they didn't have enough money though. They were like dipping the money into the wrong shit. Like they weren't even doing the right maintenance on this. What were they even? Can you tell me what they were putting the money into? What were they putting the money into regarding the Ocean Gate submersible? That wasn't to maintenance. Were they paying them enough? Oh shit. Were they paying enough? Were they paying enough to the workers at Ocean Gate? No. Or no, they weren't. Four of Wands, Ten of Pentacles. What was the money going into? It was going into some sort of structure, some sort of building or house or rent. Someone's rent. Someone's... What is this? Who is this? Okay, so... Eight of Pentacles. There was an investor that was looking into buying this company. They were not investing into maintaining this anymore because they were losing money. Ocean Gate. And I feel like they were actually... the money wasn't going into taking care of the employees. The employees were, I feel, understaffed at Ocean Gate. The people who were working on this submersible, they were understaffed. They were leaving them with Nine of Wands. I feel like they were leaving a lot of people like kind of on their own, kind of like to fend off for themselves at the like. I feel like there wasn't a lot of direct management. It was very like independent working at this company or behind the scenes here. I feel like they paid them like an okay amount, but I don't think it was enough for what they were doing. And that's why the quality of maintenance on the submersible kind of started to suffer over the years. Things were getting outdated in the company, even the way they were doing payments, like people were getting kind of fed up, I feel like. Um, I feel like the owner was just stuck in the past, honestly. This could be him. He could be the Queen of Pentacles. I don't know who this Earth sign is. Um, but this person was actually looking into investing in a whole other contract. That's why there is no that's why they were willing to fire that guy right away or like make him quit. Interesting. Or this could be that guy who was trying to tell him something. This this Jack of Diamonds. This could be somebody middle-aged. This person's definitely a mechanic. He's holding the tool here. This is the mechanic. He's underneath the queen. They could have been friends, honestly. He could have worked for this boss person for like a while now, and but like after a while, I think they started to lose money because the CEO or the owner was actually investing elsewhere, investing in working on other companies and not paying attention to this Ocean Gate thing. It was his baby, it was his pride, but he was starting to look at other ventures because I think less and less people, I don't know, there was like, they weren't making enough money to maintain it. And so this head mechanic or whoever this was that was like underneath him started to feel like they were working alone. Like less people started to listen to him, it started to get less, like, a lot more quiet. So he had less power or something in the end. Could be younger than the owner or whoever this feminine energy is. Yeah, like, can I be real? And I don't want to be disrespectful, but I feel like he was using some of this money on his own house. Like, I feel like he might have been, like, investing. I don't want to be disrespectful. I feel like the owner was using some of the funds for, like, other things that wasn't to maintain this submersible. Like, his home with Four of Wands, like, his mansion. I'm seeing a mansion or, like, multiple properties that he was paying money to instead. I feel like he was active here, but he just was, like, starting to kind of, like, lose interest, you know? That's why the submersible doesn't have like any upgrades. I feel like they didn't upgrade the design very much over the years. It was very lackluster. It was very, I feel like he stopped asking them. I feel like he's this Queen of Diamonds. This Queen of Diamonds stopped asking this head mechanic or head engineer what they needed. Like, he started to head off and, like, start paying for other things. And just be like, yeah, that submarine's good. That submarine's alright. And he just, like, he stopped asking them if they needed anything, and they did. They actually did. They needed, like, new material for the submersible. But there was also a vibe of being scared to ask. I don't know why they're scared to ask him or speak up. Is it because they knew he was running out of money already? Six of Wands. Success. Two of Swords, Nine of Cups. Yeah. I feel like he's delusional. They were afraid to tell him because I don't know if he was delusional or if he was just really, really had a lot of faith in it, or like maybe this is giving me the vibe of like with the Two of Swords, it was like, nope, you can't. It was like he was like, you cannot convince me otherwise that this submarine will like, you know, anything bad will happen. I feel like it was the vibe in the lab was very like no 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 no, like they would be like, hey boss, like we need more material for the submarine. We need some more because you know it might break down, and if it breaks down, then you will implode. You'll run out of oxygen. And I feel like he was like, no, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear anything negative. No 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 no. I feel like there was a vibe of that. It was kind of not like a self delusion, but like either he was refusing to hear about it, like willingly, like willing ignorance. Like I feel like Rush was like, "Oh, I don't want to hear about it. Oh, no, 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 no. That's bad luck. That's bad juju." Do you think that he might have been a little bit suspicious? Do you think? I don't know. Maybe he could have been suspicious, and that's why he was like, "Oh, I don't want to hear any bad vibes. Don't. What do you call it? Don't cite. Don't. What do you? I don't know what the word is. Verb. You know, like don't give it like don't jinx it. There you go. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. It was like every time they tried, every time he would come up and be like, hey man, like I'm by myself. I've been working with you for a really long time, man. And you know, I have a lot of respect for you, but you really should not go on this ride today. I know for years, like we've had issues too. We've had issues, and I know we've told you, hey, it's okay to go, even though we have comms problems, even though we have, rotor number 5 over there is broken down. It's okay, but um, this time I really genuinely think it's really not safe. I'm telling this to you out of love. Like I know you don't want to hear anything negative. I feel like this guy was kind of like the kind of owner where it's like, don't talk to me unless you have something good to say. Like this is that kind of owner. And I don't think he was like particularly super abusive to them. I think he was just very like in his own world with the 6 of wands, and then this see the dreamy and the like he was highly critical of himself. Maybe he did low-key dealt with like mild mental health issues, and maybe as he got older they could have gotten a little bit worse, and maybe the people around him in the lab or in the office could have like not babied him, but maybe like kind of like took it easy on him. Like they just did not want to upset this guy. And maybe it's because he had all the money. I mean, that could be it. Like he's the owner, he's paying them, maybe that's why. But I feel like it was more of like an emotional compassionate, come from a compassionate place. Just like wild. Um I feel like this person is very like he's very nice to them. I think that he developed a lot of really strong relationships with the engineers. Like they've been friends because this is like a operation that's been going on for years. And like hold on. Thanks guys. Um hold on. Can oh shit. I'm just gonna like okay. Sorry. I'm not by the way guys, I'm not looking at my chat, so don't try to just I don't care if there's any trolls or anything or bullshit this time because this is like a really serious reading. So there's like a feeling of like 6 of wands. I feel like these people, you know what? I feel like Rush was there, of course, during the beginning stages of this project. I think that the engineers, this is the same engineers who made it all together. Like when they made the first like exploration, what do you call it? Like they I heard groundbreaking. Like he was there for the groundbreaking event of them like this like getting this miracle. I heard miracle to the Titanic. This is what gave them fame. This is what got them like a lot of scientific breakthrough. discovery, exploration. And so he was there for this event. They were all there from day one, and I feel like there's a pride from Six of Wands, a pride, and there is also a feeling of a miracle. Like, this project might have not happened. We would have died before while experimenting on this vehicle. But it was like, it's like at the same time he refused to hear anything to do with um like, yeah, like if it's breaking down. So that's what it was. That's what I'm getting from that, from days before with this guy. Hold on. Three of Wands. I think that Rush saw this as like, they were going to explore more. I feel like they were working, you know what, it could have been that they were working on a whole other project, like a whole other vehicle, experimental vehicle that they were working on that might have been more profitable than this submarine with the Three of Wands here. And I think that his attention was just elsewhere and he just didn't want to upset him. It's weird. It's giving me weird vibes. Like, if they go way back, like he and this team go way back. The guy that he fired, I feel like they go way back. Like, I feel like he was there a while at least. I didn't look too hard into the news story, so I don't know how long the guy who was fired was there, but I feel like he's known this guy a while, and he was one of the people who wanted to appease the CEO or owner of this company, and he just couldn't let it, because out of respect and love for his life, because he knew that he was going to be on this ride too, he said, don't do it. Like, you're going to die. With this Ten of Pentacles too, it's like, look, like, we've been together a really long time. This is like a family. I feel like this man almost was gonna cry when he was telling Rush this in the office. I could just see this poor man. He's like, he just like slamming down the blueprints and all the notes and all of the things and the parts that he's breaking off of this submersible, and running up to the office and coming up to him and like saying like, look, like 3 days before, I feel like it was 3 days or 2 days before or something like that. Look, we've been together for a long time. I feel like Ocean Gate is a family to us, Ten of Pentacles. I feel like your life is super valuable to me. You're like a brother to me. He was almost gonna cry. He said, look, I know that this is Six of Wands, your pride, but you really should not go through with this. You are like an older brother. This is like the sister, but I'm gonna see it as Rush. You're like an older brother to me. You're like the Empress. Like, you're like, you know, and I really don't want you to go on this expedition. It's really not safe. I know that this is your pride, this is your baby, this is like your name, but you have to, you know, machines break down every now and then. Oh, I just got a really dark feeling from that. I'm so sorry. Trigger warning. You know what? When he said that to Rush, and he said things break down every now and then, I feel like there was something inside Rush that was like thinking about like how old he was and like how much longer he had, and like if this mattered. I'm so sorry, that got so dark. This is only for entertainment purposes only. But like, when he said, look, we've been together a long time, I know this is your baby, this isn't worth your life, like, you've worked on this a long time, it might break down. It was like, Rush was like, in his mind, I think that he pictured like what his life might be if he retired while this Ocean Gate submersible was in repair. I don't know if maybe he could have been dealing with something terminal that nobody knew about, maybe, I don't know, or, whoa, holy shit, hold on. Ooh, okay, wait. I feel like Rush was dealing with something people didn't know about yet, like I really don't want to say this out loud because like I don't want to get in trouble and I don't want anybody to get like be really upset with me, but this is all just for entertainment. I feel like he was dealing with something terminal, like a terminal illness. Like he could have gotten like diagnosed, and I feel like Rush might be the kind of person who is very like he's an escapist. He's an escapist. Yeah, because it says you escape the mundane world. He's a dreamer. He's an escapist. And I feel like when people give him bad news, he goes somewhere else. I think that's why when they kept trying to tell him, look, you can't go on this trip, or look, you can't do this, you can't do that, or like, hey, like it's breaking down. I feel like they couldn't get through to him because he mentally escapes to somewhere else, or like he just doesn't hear it, he just doesn't see it, he just believes what he sees and what he wants to see. I'm not saying he's delusional, but I feel like he was getting up in age. I feel like he could have been diagnosed with something, or like he could have been really sick, or but like hiding it, or like dealing with something that like like something about that made him feel like if they were to like take the time to wait for the parts to come in on this Ocean Gate ride, to repair it and like all of that, because like I said, the engineers said that it would take some months to get in and you would have to delay that tour. There's something about him not wanting to wait, because he said they're not wanting to wait because he think it would be too late. Like maybe he was diagnosed with something, maybe he was like might have been like sick or like in bad health, and he just feels like he might not get another chance to ride the submersible. Maybe I'm sorry, this is just all psychic speculation, guys, so don't kill me. Hold on. Well, hold on. Okay, hopefully you guys can see me better now. I'm so sorry. That whole time I was talking, there's horrible internet. But yes, I feel like he might have had something going on mentally, or like he feels like he wouldn't be able to write it again. Like I feel like okay, in one situation I'm seeing this as is like he might have been like scared that he wouldn't be able to write it again. Like he would be pushed into into retirement immediately, because his baby would be considered not legitimate by being broken, like invalid, and that this inspiration to the world is not a Superman. Like he had a Superman complex, like he always has to be a Superman. Like, no, believe me, none of this will ever break down, but like the shit's breaking down, you know what I mean? And I feel like nobody knew that he was might have been dealing with some sort of illness. I'll be real with you, and again, I don't want to get really dark, and I'm so sorry. I feel like when the guy was saying you're going to die, like, and I feel like when the man was like really desperately telling him like not to go on this tour, not to let those people on, he said, like, he explained in detail, because this is an engineer, he knows how like compression works, he knows exactly what's going to happen to you if you go down there and it breaks down. He could have even went into detail like, look sir, I really, really, really don't think you should go on this trip. Like, you're going to run out of air, or it's going to collapse. It's going to collapse the moment you hit the ground. It's going to explode. I think that's what happened to them, by the way. I don't think they ever had to wait that long without communication. Can I be really honest with you? I think they did fix the communication. I really feel like they imploded the moment they reached too much pressure. I don't think it was that long. I think they saw the Titanic like for a little bit, and that's what happened. And then I also feel like they might have bumped into some sort of large animal, maybe like a squid. They could have. I see an eyeball in the porthole. I see an eyeball, like a really big eyeball in the porthole, like a really like in the movies, man. It's so scary. And it might have like, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing like a can of soda that's shaken up. And I feel like what might have happened is like they they did see an animal, I feel like either a whale or some sort of like prehistoric thing, or like a prehistoric squid. I heard squid, but I don't think it attacked them. I think it just bumped them. Like they saw like a large animal or something was big enough to bump them for that pressure to just go pff, because it's not, it was, there's like cracks. There's like cracks in the hull. So this guy knew though, but the engineer knew this and told him this. He said, "You will implode. You're submersible. Like it'll just like completely like crush under pressure. Like this is how the science works, you know." And I feel like when he was telling this to the guy, he was just like, "There's like nothing." Like I think he heard it and then he just like saw black or something. Like it's, you know what it felt like? It felt like the beginning of the end. Like when he said, I feel like when the engineer told the owner like, "Hey, like this is gonna crash," I feel like this is the one time I'm gonna say like we really can't go down. I know you went down before with like other malfunctions and other breakdowns, but this is the one time where it's finally over, man. It's finally done. Like it can't go on anymore. We need to fix it. I feel like this guy, this in his mind, the owner was like, "This is the end of the era. Like this is it. This is the end." So it's a little bit dramatic, but I want to know why it's dramatic. I feel like it could be because he's like terminal or something. Something terminal. What's going on? Clear straight line denotes a desire for money and recognition. Contentment with life and work. This is his life's work. With the Saturn line, this was his life's work. This is really sad. This is sad. So he knew. I feel like he did know. He did know, but half of him was delusional and half of him was like, "I really just don't want this dream to end." And that makes me kind of sad for him. Like, I don't think the money and recognition thing was a whole thing. I think like 40 could be something significant. I feel like something could have happened when he turned 40 and he like really likes living in that time for some reason. Maybe someone could find something on that. This is his life's work. This is what gave him money, gave his name. This is his contribution to the world. And to know that it'll explode and possibly be replaced by a better, newer technology makes him very sad. Like it's over. Like he refused to let it go. Refused to let anyone ever miss a tour. I feel like the only thing that he had going for him, not only thing, but one of the few things he had going for him during this Ocean Gate trip or this tours is the consistency of getting people at least underwater to see shit. And he at least wanted to accomplish that. And there's something weird about how he might have been terminally ill or like terminally going through something, or I don't know, maybe just mentally, like he just felt like it was the end, or he's just like not healthy anymore. It's really strange. So he knew what he was bringing them into. I don't think he was that delusional, but half of him was like forcing delusion, I think for the sake of the other people. This is really dark. I don't feel good. I'll be real, I don't feel good with this. I feel an immense sadness. I feel tears behind his eyes. I feel like he cried when they went on. Cause there's something about how like Ocean Gate is like his name, and like the moment they break down, the moment that they publicly anyone knows that this scary submarine is no more, then it's the end of Ocean Gate. Like immediately someone will come in, or like a Chinese company. I heard a Chinese company was thinking about buying them out or like competing with them, or already has built something better. that they heard about, and it was like the moment they leave this spot in the Western or American market, it's like they'll be replaced. And he doesn't want to be forgotten. He didn't want his legacy to be forgotten, so he just wanted to go on this one more trip and then fix it, and like as if no one knew. But this is like a really delayed repair. Well, I don't know why he didn't repair it before. I feel like he was trying to work on something else then. Like there were times where they were supposed to repair the submersible before. Like there were many times before where this guy told him, but this was the one time where this man was very desperate not to let him go on. But for the owner, I think when this man was like on his knees begging him not to go, like I care about you as like an older brother or like even a like whatever, a dad figure or something, like I really beg of you not to go. I feel like I see like Bill from Kill Bill doing that walk where he got like hit in the heart and he like died. You know how he took like the 5 steps and he stumbled over and died? I feel like that's what the owner felt like when the engineer told him that. He was like, "All right, this is my walk of death." Like this is like this could be my last walk. He's intuitive too. So I feel like he even knew. Or like something inside him told him this would happen. That's why he has the anxiety here. That day was the anxiety. Okay, let me get into what the day was like. Hold on. Interesting. I don't think there was an addiction. I almost thought there was an addiction involved before I pulled on this, but I feel like it's more like a mental illness thing, or like this is my baby, this is like my only name, and now it'll be forgotten forever if I like let this go down like that. And then I feel like he also could have like had something going on with his like with himself, literally. Like, did he? I keep hearing disease. Like, did he have? Maybe he got secretly diagnosed with a disease or something, or terminal illness, or I really don't know, because there's something about how he knew what would happen to him when if he were to go down there and they can't find him. You know what I mean? Like he didn't want them to find him. Maybe they didn't want him want. Maybe he didn't want them to find him. And I'm not saying that he went into this like 100% knowing that they wouldn't come back up, but like I know for a fact like this man definitely considered and played out the cogs of what would happen the days leading up, for sure. Because the way that this engineer came up to him and fucking told him the truth was very different from the other times. Because there were many other times where he walked into the office, right? And he's probably said 10 of wands, hey, look, this is very fucking burdening. There's like a switch that just broke off. Like, we need to do a whole overhaul. And there were times where Stockton didn't believe him. Or like, kind of believed him but knew that they would be okay. He knew they would be okay just this time. But this one last time that engineer came in, it was like he knew it was over. It was as if he was getting caught by the cops. It was as if like somebody was getting caught up for something. So I feel like, I don't know, like he's very cerebral. Even though he's an escapist, he's an escapist because he's very like, he thinks about every single little thing that can happen. He could someone here could possibly have OCD. I feel like he could possibly have like OCD or like something like that, where he can like, where he sees all of the outcomes of every single little thing, like what do you call it, compulsively. Like he could be a compulsive thinker. That could be why like he could deal with certain mental things. But like the owner is a compulsive thinker, so he definitely thought of a scenario of what would happen to him if this submersible were to implode. because that was definitely something that was considered. He's not delusional, he's smart. I feel like he had something planned. He had something planned where if he were to survive this ride, like if they were to come back up, that would be like God's sign to him to move on to something else. Or something weird. Because he got diagnosed, he could have gotten diagnosed with something, or like something weird. I don't know why he's ashamed. I don't know why he's ashamed of this, though. It's something that he could be ashamed of, or something that he doesn't want his family to know about. Wow, I'm going so deep into this. Ducks could be significant, rubber ducks could be significant. Humidity, pH balance. Yeah. And so, like, I think he had a plan to escape something or, like, get away if they were to come up. That was, like, God's sign to him. But if they weren't to come up, then he was okay with that, too. So there was, like, a flip coin to this person. There's a flip coin to this owner who pushed everyone to go through this ride. He's very convincing, but also very compulsive. Okay, let's see what else happened here. So they knew something was going on. There was some sort of tear on the hull. There's something that couldn't, it just could not handle the pressure anymore. Because it's just old. It's old as fuck. It's only one thing. It's like one submersible, one submarine. Okay. What was their mindset the day of the tour? What was the crew and the owner's mindset the day of the tour? Oh, this really wanted to come out. Uranus, the thumb thick. Suggests you take a back seat in life, preferring to work behind the scenes. Orderly, disciplined, learn best by repetition. Enjoy troubleshooting and fixing errors. The crew that day was feeling like just working through it as if it's another day. Any other day, just like they really try to thoroughly check the hell out of it before they let it go. For sure. This card, 92 could be significant. This tells me they for sure checked it a lot that day. Okay, what else? The lifeline. Reveal how long you... Oh. Regards life and what you want from it. It shows a degree of vitality and energy you have in life. Shows how much you enjoy it. A few of these crew members did prayers that day. A few crew members on the day of the Ocean Gate tour definitely did a prayer. 32 could be another significant number or age. Some people definitely prayed that day because they heard about it. I think when that guy got fired, it was a big scene. It was like, I think that man could have been escorted out by security possibly, or there could have been some sort of like noise made, like someone was yelling in that office or someone overheard something. Word got around for sure of what this man was saying. I mean, they knew. I feel like the crew knew what was going on with this. So a lot of them were just like preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. Some of them knew it was a death trip, especially the ones that were closer in the engineering of the craft, and some of them weren't really as they didn't know exactly, you know, what was going to happen and how it was, but they had a bad feeling and they prayed, and they just hoped it was a bad hunch, which is really sad. And they all did their best. They had multiple tests on the submarine. I feel like they really over-tested it. Like, even if someone said they didn't, I feel like someone had to over-test the hell out of the submarine and check it extra hard, double check it, because they overheard the other engineer yell about it. Because they were that worried. Somebody in that crew was very worried about human life. More worried than that person who wasn't really fully mentally there, the owner. I feel like, yeah, they didn't fully know what is going on. I feel like they pray a lot in this company. They pray a lot in this crew. This is a spiritual crew for sure. Because there were times where they could have died before. They had near death experiences in that submersible before. There were times where they almost died and they prayed really hard. There could have been times confidentially where they're not allowed to tell anyone, where they could have been trapped in this watercraft for a few hours without comms before. This has happened before. Something happened with the flotation devices. They're too fucking old. And they knew about this. So it was kind of like, there's one day this isn't gonna work. You know what this is giving me? It's giving me the vibe of like that old tired carnival ride worker. Have you ever been to like a carnival that goes into town, and have you ever seen like the rides, and the rides are really like rickety and shaky? I've been to a carnival once where a whole metal part fell off a Ferris wheel once, and I watched the guy who worked for the carnival literally climb on the side of the ride without a ladder, without anything safety, no helmet, just climb on it and just jam it right back in. And just be like really tight. And he had a cigarette in his mouth. He was just like, oh, I'm sure. He's just like, fuck. Whatever, it works. And so this happens all the time. It's giving me the vibe of like a tired carnival ride operator, like a cigarette in their mouth, just being like, just bonking the thing to work again. Like the lights are just jittering. Okay, like this is something they've been through a lot. This thing is like a old ride. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it definitely was overdue for a huge upgrade and makeover. They claimed to make like a new model of it, but they barely did shit. They just like, they kept the same design. They didn't want to put more money or engineering into like improving it or changing something about it or testing it or anything. And the workers knew about this. That's why they're so tired. That's why they pray a lot. They're just like, oh gosh, it's gonna happen again like this. I feel like the driver, one of the drivers, is probably like, one of these days is gonna be my last day. Like that's what it's giving me. And this is that day. That's how they felt. But I feel like it doesn't feel different for the driver of the submersible. I feel like every day he feels like that. I don't think he knew the severity of like how close they were to like danger being in that craft. I think he had an idea, an inkling, and he knew about all the issues it has because he's driven it before, but I don't think he knew how close they were to it. I think every day he does pray, and every day he does say, one day is going to be my last, because this thing is kind of low-key a piece of shit. But that day, I think that was routine. This is telling me it was a routine prayer. It was a routine check and routine prayer with a little drama because somebody quit and got fired or something. But something felt different that day. The whirl, bullseye, target in reverse. They felt off. That day the crew felt off. They felt like they missed their target on something. They felt like this is definitely... Okay, so people did know this wasn't right. There were definitely people part of this that did not know this was right. Somebody shot off target on purpose here. Love of the outdoors and animals really drawn. Okay. This the owner of Ocean Gate he's very nice. I think that he had a hard time. Either it was him or the other people that had a hard time asserting themselves. Maybe this is a very passive environment. Like maybe he's very like positive, like love and light, and then the other people are also kind of like forced to be that way. Like they're forced to be gentle with him. Again, there's like a weird vibe of everybody being very gentle with this person, being very afraid to upset him. I feel like he's secretly gone through something mental before. I feel like he's gone off the deep end before, if I'll be real with you. I don't want to be disrespectful. May he rest in peace, but I feel like Rush could have dealt with certain things before, and I think that there's something even could have happened recently. I don't think they know about the diagnosis that he had, but there's also something either mental or like physical. But there was also a breakdown that he could have had before, maybe in secret, or maybe people are afraid to talk about it now, or maybe it's too soon. But he did have a mental breakdown around somebody, like a little bit before recently. And ever since, it's made everybody really, really, really delicate with him. And I think that's kind of really contributes to how he kind of ushered himself still onto this unsafe craft and managed to get people to be convinced with, like, be persuaded to go on this ride and think that it's safe. That something he had a breakdown about something. I don't know if someone has talked about this recently, or if anyone, I don't know if anyone's gonna bring it up. Maybe I feel like someone's gonna bring it up later. I feel like maybe it's too soon right now. Someone's scared they're gonna get sued, but I feel like in a few months, or maybe like even a few days, weeks, someone might come out from, like, maybe it might even be that engineer that survived. He might tell someone. He might get brave enough and actually speak up because a lot of people want to talk to him. He might say, like, yeah, like, a few months ago, or, he was dealing with something. Or somebody from the owner's life is going to come out and say, like, he was not really in the best of. He wasn't really the most happiest, a few months ago. I did see him start to cry about something, or start to be very upset about something. I've seen someone, like, cry and yell about, like have a breakdown. Like, I'm seeing someone in a car or like in a room just go ah, and just like have like tears come out of their eyes, and it's like he's having a breakdown about something, like an inner war about something. I think someone saw it, or like maybe the whole company saw it. Maybe he had a breakdown in front of the whole company like one day. And like I said, he's somebody that likes to like keep it to himself, keep it inside. Somebody here could be an earth sign in this situation. And so he like he could have even like stepped in the middle of the lab and just started to go ah! And just like have a breakdown, and all of the mechanics and all of the scientists were like, or engineers were just like, are you okay? And he could have been like, oh, I'm fine, I'm great, this is great. Like, I feel like he was giving me that vibe, like he just had a, like, he's not okay. Like, he's not, something is cooking up underneath mentally. Like, he's really, really, really not okay. Like, really on the brink of a breakdown. And he could have let it crack, and, like, he either, like, screamed randomly, or he could have yelled at someone at the job. Like, he could have, when he fired someone or somebody was like upsetting him, he could have just said, no, you're not gonna fucking like they never saw him break down like that before. They never saw him scream like that before. And that was when everybody kind of just like, okay, like, let's not upset him too much, like, let's not bring him too many upsetting details. So there is something going on. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he was dealing with a lot of things secretly that he felt uncomfortable sharing with people, and it leaked out into his work, into dealing with these engineers and stuff. That could have been why he fired that guy. Like, he's known as a nice guy. He's known as someone who's like, hi, I really believe in Ocean Gate. I believe in my submersible. I believe in this, in that. But there's something about how, like, yeah. So someone might like leak either a while from now or a little while from now, like how there could have been an incident in the workplace. I don't know if someone will, because there are NDAs. I feel like some people signed like a non-disclosure agreement for this guy, so I don't know. But like, I feel like someone's gonna leak like that he was not always the happy, like the most enthusiastic about his project. Or like someone could have been like, like maybe a lot of people could have gotten up and said like, sir, like, we don't think you should bring this submarine out today, or tomorrow, or whatever it is. Like, it's really not in good shape. And he could have been like, I don't want to hear about it. Like, he could have like popped off, and that was when they were just like, okay. And that's when there's like a little bit of like a whirl in reverse here. That day, there's something off, because I feel like there's like, first of all, they don't feel safe going on this craft, and then also there's a vibe that has completely shifted over. A perspective of this person has completely shifted over because he like they feel like they're being guided into the underworld by somebody. Like I'm so sorry, that is so mean. Or mean, that's so weird, like evil sounding. I don't mean that, but like, do you know what else I'm seeing? I'm seeing the Odyssey. And do you know how, I don't know if it's the Odyssey where this happens, where or it's like the Odyssey, or you know, the Greek mythology story where they go into the cave and it's like fire and it's like hellish and it's like, I'm just seeing those people on a boat and they're like fighting off these demons and they're going into this cavern and they're floating on this boat and they're being led by that one guy, and it's like, we're going to die. Like, people died on that trip, on that 7-year Odyssey, for him to just get home from war. It's fucking wild. But he led them to death. There are people that fought against him to not go into that cave. There's monsters in there. They're going to eat us. So I'm getting this vibe that I'm seeing that scene from that from the Odyssey, where they go into the cave and they didn't want to go in. And I feel like there's a vibe of like these people don't feel good. They don't feel high in morale. They don't feel right. They don't feel like he's right. They feel like very uncomfortable. And he had that breakdown, and it was like, or some sort of outburst, or some sort of, you know, behavior that was so different that it was like, everybody's quiet. Everybody's just like, okay, we're just gonna shut up and just do our job and just like try our best to just check on this submersible the most we can and just get it down there as quick as possible and get it up as fast as possible without upsetting him. Like, it's a vibe of like, let's not upset him. And just try to repair it and try to take care of the company on our own with Nine of Wands without him knowing, almost. There's because of his pride. It's like, let's not like trigger his pride. To the people, the crew of Ocean Gate, to the people in Ocean Gate and the engineers, they felt like it was his pride that they were triggering, but there's something else that was going on with him that was really breaking him down. And this Ocean Gate was his ego. It was like it was attached to his ego. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I have some really invasive energies. Let me just make sure, because they making so much noise out here trying to. Sorry, I have. You know, when you speak truth, you get demons that possess people that come over here and mess with my message. Sorry. What was I saying? So there's a feeling of like people, it's like they gave up. It was like, okay, like, you know, we told him like not to do it. We tried, and he's the boss and he had the breakdown, so we're just gonna like let him go. And it's hard to talk to him because he does this thing where he's like, don't you dare say this about my project. And then he turns around and he's like, we're going to have a good day today. This is going to go great. This is going to, like, I feel like a split personality situation, but the other side of his personality never comes out. I feel like he was really good at maintaining the split personality side. He could have even had, like, maybe bipolar or something. I don't know. Maybe not really. I don't think, maybe something going on. But all those years, he was really good at maintaining it. Because this project is attached to his entire ego, his entire personality, and without it, he feels like he's dead inside. And then there's a whole thing about modern technology, about how China might make a submarine that'll replace him. I also heard France was also, maybe someone in France, like maybe they heard over the grapevine, someone in France also has made a submarine that, or is on the way to making a better submarine than them, or someone in China, I heard, or Russia. Maybe he has, maybe Ocean Gate has a deal with the U.S. government I feel like maybe OceanGate had a deal with like the president at some point, or they had an investment from the U.S. government or something like that. And there's something about how they felt like they had to represent the country even with this name. And I don't know if that has to, I don't think that has to do with this pride, but that could have done with the, I don't know, with the pressure of maintaining this project. He got a lot of like opportunities, and I heard a lot of like partners or something, I don't know, business or love, through this project. The Venus fingers in reverse. Poor money management. So he does not, this, when the Venus finger is in reverse, this gives me that he was not very good at working with other people. I think he's a very generous person. I think that on this day, he was definitely in the energy of not working with other people. This signifies somebody who's very good with their money. He's very good with his money. I think that he's... I don't want to be disrespectful. Again, there's some vibe of this person being cheap. Like, somebody here was cheap. Like, I don't know, the company is cheap. Because this person, it says good with... Like, this says bad with money management, but in reverse, but long-lasting relationships. So there's something about how he could have, like, been really good with money, but not good with personal relationships. He doesn't... I don't think he really prioritized people at all in this company. But he's very good at saving money. And then there's something about, yeah, like, he wanted to be cheap. That's why he doesn't have a business partner, because he doesn't want to share it with somebody else, or he doesn't really have co-investor, co-owner or something like that, because he doesn't want to share the name and then share also, like, yeah, business partners in reverse, like share his good money. There's something, maybe there's something secret that he does with his money or did with his money that he doesn't want anyone else to be in on. Don't shoot me over that. That's just allegedly. And then, yeah, there's some... I feel like there was a lot going on in this CEO's life that's going to come out. And then I'm seeing McAfee. Do you remember the McAfee or whatever that guy's name is called? The one with the, you know, the computer security program guy, and you know how he passed away, and then all of this stuff came out about him, and all this crazy stories about him came out. I'm seeing that in my mind, and he's like an older male. I feel like this might happen to this CEO, like, in a little bit. There might be like a situation kind of like that where it's like you thought this person was one way, and then there might be documentaries later about like this person's secret life, or there's some sort of double life about the CEO that we don't know about right now. He was very good at hiding the split personality to his company, to his coworkers, but there's something about the days leading up where he really broke. There's something about, there's a lot of pressure holding up on him. Maybe he was under a lot of debt to somebody or something. And then there's also something about how, like, the lifeline here, like, he could have been dealing with some sort of illness, diagnosis, something here. And then, yeah, like, something just felt really off about him. Because the target card's upside down, so it's like something just really felt off. Really off about the CEO that day and the days leading up. And what triggered it, honestly, was the engineer complaining or coming up and saying, dude, we can't let this out into the ocean. Like, that's literally what triggered his behavior in the span of the few days, where people could have seen things. But I don't think he ever acted like that before that. He was really good at, like, keeping a smile on it, because he has a split personality. So I feel like maybe like in a few weeks or like months or something like that, there might be like, when they finally get a documentary out about this, what happens with the submersible, I think there's going to be a lot more details. I predict that there's going to be a lot more details added to it about Rush than we know right now, that are going to be in the documentary that have not really much to do with why it exploded. It might have to do with his secret personal business investments. And I don't think that the investments or who he owes money to has much to do with the submersible, honestly. I don't think it could have been targeted. I think that he himself could have been targeted maybe, but I think that this is more of a case of neglect. Like he could have neglected the Ocean Gate project due to some hidden illegal activity personally for himself and the medical diagnosis or mental diagnosis about something. And then my mouth is like rushing out now. This is allegedly. Holy shit. So that's what's crazy about this. That's what's wild about this. They might be focusing, for some of you, like, the company might be trying to focus on the submersible on purpose. Because of what might be going on behind the investments. There's something, they could have, you know what? Please call me bold for this. And really don't mark me for this. If it ends up true, it ends up true. I really feel like this company could have low-key been used as a front for something. Ocean Gate could have been used as a cap. I mean, it was a real operating company. I think it was a real investment. I mean, the submersible still works. They're running as a business, basically. I think they were running as a tour business, essentially, to get people to go to the Titanic. That's a real thing. They're not a scam. But there's something about how, like, the large amount of money that was going in, there's a reason why they weren't charging the amount they were charging. I think they were actually supposed to charge more than they were supposed to for those seats on the submersible. But Rush uses the money for Ocean Gate or whatever they're called now. I forget the name they're called now. He uses that name to invest in something underground. A large amount of money. There's something weird. There's something very shady about the large amount of money. The investment money that he got from those investors, it went somewhere else under this company, and the company was making money or like receiving transactions, large transactions from supposed donors or something, but it was for something else. To counteract the large amount of money coming in, I think he undercharged people for seats on the submarine to cover this up. While he did this, he neglected investing that money into the actual company by not paying attention to it, because there's something else that he was investing in, something secret that he was getting money from that is illegal. I feel like it's illegal, that could have been laundered or filtered through the name Ocean Gate. And that little janky dock and the little dinky submarine is the front. That's why it was falling apart. They actually made more than enough money under that name to fix it. But I think it was like he wasn't paying attention to it. He wasn't really, like I said, he was there for the discovery of this, the invention of this, the great invention of it, and then I feel like he abandoned it. He abandoned it when it was doing well. He was still there for it, but it's like, I feel like he treated it like a trophy on his shelf. And he used that money he got from it to invest in some very weird stuff. So I feel like in the documentaries, like, there might be already documentaries now, but there's going to be more that come out that have to do more with the CEO, possibly, than the actual crash. The crash, I feel like, was literally... It will be explained. They will... I feel like they will find enough evidence on it. On the condition of the craft, multiple reports on damages, there's going to be explanations to how it crashed. It's not a mystery. I don't think it was a mystery. The glass wasn't tempered, like, wasn't graded for that deep of ocean. And there's possible that they just got bumped by a large animal. I don't think anything crazy or scary happened down there. I think they just got bumped, and they were just like a compressed little thing down there, and it just couldn't handle the bump. because of how delicate this thing was. And I feel like the CEO knew, but there might be more information coming out about him than about the actual crash. And this has to do with it. It has to do with like some other stuff he invested in that was illegal, that was supposed to go to the submersible, possibly was enough money to invest in more submersibles, but it went to something else. And then I got that Four of Wands. It could be hidden in a home or in a mansion or something, or like a property of his or something like that. And this might come out. I don't know. Thanks for joining me, guys, by the way. Okay, so let's see. What are there any spiritual effects of the Titanic wreck? Is there anything spiritual surrounding the Titanic wreck? Does that have anything to do with the bad luck on the Ocean Gate? Oh gosh, there's so much they want to tell you right now. Ten of Cups, Four of Cups. Yes, no. They're saying yes and no. That's not clear enough, Spirit. Okay, so there could be actually some spiritual vibes surrounding the Titanic. There could be something still living in the ship, for sure, spiritually. But it's only there to warn people to stay away. Something about how history repeats itself with Ten of Wands and then Ten of Cups here. Something keeps repeating itself. You know what? It could be because the Ocean Gate is an experimental craft. And wasn't the Titanic an experimental craft? Wasn't like an experimental, like they've never had a ship this large before, they've never done anything this big before? Is this like a warning? Did they warn them? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they could have warned, something down there could have warned the CEO in his dreams before. Because this is also an experimental craft that went down there, and then people passed away from this. Like, this is a tragedy. And they could have, like I said, I see someone bumping into something. I feel like they bumped into something, and that was when it just, like, it just imploded on impact. I don't think that they were stuck. I don't think they were stuck. I don't think they were, like, really... I don't think they even knew what was wrong for that long. I feel like the people in the... Oh gosh, I'm getting a really scary image. I don't ever want to go back to seeing this ever again. I'm seeing like a mouth. I'm seeing like a really big like mouth come towards the window. What? Yeah, I'm seeing like a big eye and then like a big like... I don't know if it's like a beak or like a mouth, like jaws. I don't know if that's what bumped into them, but they saw something like that, right? Reminds me of It. It reminds me of the ending of It, where he opens his mouth and it's like a bunch of teeth and a bunch of like, and it's like a whole like portal. That's what I see. It's like the last thing they see, and then it's like dark. They didn't want them to panic. They didn't want these people to panic. The communication broke down. It was working for a while though, so they got confident. They just kept going as normal. And then something happened, but they didn't know anything was wrong for that long. I don't think they knew. Or at least not everybody. Not for that long, only towards the end. I feel like the lights shut off on this thing. Like, the lights shut off. Like, things are dark. And then there's lights again. And then they see something. And then it's black. And then I'm seeing the ocean floor. And I'm hearing someone say, did I see something? And they're pointing. They're pointing at the ship. Someone's like pointing at the ship and they're saying like, I think I saw something. Like something move in the ship. And then that's when they start to see like an eye. And then I'm seeing a mouth. And then I'm just seeing black. But I'm and they're eating things. Not them. I mean, not the animal. The people. The people are eating snacks or something. Like, I feel like they're casual down there. They could even be like playing some sort of game, like a card game or some sort of, I don't know, board game or, I don't know, a toy. Like they're playing with the toy while they're down there. They're just like waiting. I'm seeing like a Rubik's Cube or like a Tamagotchi or like a phone game. Like someone's on like playing a phone game or like playing with cards like this, like when they're down there because they're getting bored. And I don't think anyone knows that like there's things wrong at first. Like I think the pilot knows, and I think that the CEO knows something's wrong because the lights shut off for a second and then they don't. And that's not supposed to happen. And then I think they try to move to go up. You know what's fucked up is I feel like it actually was working. It was able to go up. That's what's fucked up about this submersible crash. Do you know what I see? Is that it turns back on or something. Like they figured it out. Like I feel like they were able to come back up, but it just takes too long to come back up. And what happens is something hit it, like it bumped into it, and it was not strong enough. There's a tear in the hole, and then it just, or something, and then I'm just seeing the ocean floor. I'm just seeing the sand and the light, like the flashlight of the, and then the window and just the window of the ocean gate or whatever, and then it's like. There was a malfunction, but I feel like it wasn't that long that they were down there like without any sort of problems. They could have even bumped into the ground. They could have for something for I don't know, for some reason it's like either the lights turned off, like the lights could have turned off on the submarine, and then the motors stopped running, and then it started to like kind of like creep towards the ground, and that could have been why it like I don't know, it hit something. Something happened where it turned off for a second, but then the thing is they turned it back on. I feel like the lights turned on just for a second, like it worked. It was able, or they were like, they thought it was going to work. Like they were able to float back up, but comms wasn't on. Communication isn't on. But I feel like it was still able to float up. That's what's so sad about this. But something bumped into it. And while this was happening, I don't think they were waiting that long. I don't think like, I don't think they were like panicking for that long until like the very, very, very end. Like nobody was waiting around that long, I don't think. Because it happened almost in an instant. Like the end of the communication happened right before whatever happened to the submarine happened. It wasn't like a wait. I think a lot of people speculated out there that they were probably sitting down there cold, like waiting for communication to turn back on, but I feel like it was on until it wasn't, and then the thing stopped working, and then that's what caused some sort of malfunction, and then the crash. And then the crash caused the implosion. And I don't know if it was like a large animal that they bumped into, or like, because I'm seeing like a large mouth and like an eye. And it's on a flashlight. The light is on. They could see it. Someone could see it. So I don't know if it happens before the implosion or after. That's why they're still found in the same place, because they didn't go very far. Remember, everybody searched around all the oceans, all the bodies of water around there, but it was right there. And because they were in communication the whole time, they were alive the entire time they were in communication until they weren't. Like, until only maybe a few minutes after. They weren't They weren't using that 96-hour thing that long. I'll be real with you. They weren't. Because something happened like immediately when they saw the Titanic. They did get to see it. They just got, I don't know, they got lost or... What's going on? When the light shut off, I feel like this King of Pentacles or this Earth sign or whoever this could be the owner. This could be the owner of the company who is with them. He knew. With 8 of Cups, he knew something was going on. There was a decision to be made here. When they were down there. About what? About watching and waiting? About watching something, stalking something? Did they see? Maybe they saw something and they felt like they had to turn the lights off or something. Unless someone lied. There's something about how they're watching something. They saw something, and they felt like they were being detected. They were being detected by something down there. They're watching, like he's making the decision to watch something very, very, very like closely. I don't know if it's the machinery itself. I don't know if it's the submarine itself that he's choosing to watch very closely when they're down there. But there's an 8 of Cups energy. So the 8 of Cups, remember when I told you about his behavior before, where it was like this energy of like, I might die on this trip or I might not and I don't care. Not that I don't care, but it's more like I have a situation prepared for each one. It's kind of like with this 8 of Cups, it's like, all right, I made the decision now to walk away from life or walk away from everything that I've invested in emotionally. That's wild. So I'm kind of scared. I'm a little bit scared of what I'm picking up. Can I be real with you? I'm a little bit scared. Because I don't want to say what I'm seeing, because what I said earlier about how I'm picking up about his mental state, and then when I said that they were like, they see something down there, and then he decides to not be detected by turning off the lights or something like that, I don't know. Is this on purpose? Like, did he do this? Did he, I don't know, did he turn off communication? He made a decision when he went down there. The CEO himself made a decision with the captain or whoever was driving the ship to do something. And it includes walking away, like giving up on something and watching something really closely. Whatever this is, it's giving them lots of burden. I'm seeing a lot of fear here. Whatever they're watching really closely, I'm seeing lots of fear, anguish, like very scared, like very like okay, like things just got really real. With 10 of Wands. I'm seeing him think about his family with 10 of Cups. I'm seeing this person think about their family for some reason. And how they've made all the money, how he's made all the money for his family with 9 of Pentacles. How he's made this name for himself too. Everything. So as if he's saying a prayer or something. But there's something about how the people around him are in 7 of Pentacles mode. The people around him don't know about this. This is all internal. He's having an internal dialogue with himself about making a decision from walking away from something. And the people around him are waiting for him to make that decision with the 7 of Pentacles. They're not in the same mental state as him. It's him, he's extremely burdened by something that he sees. He's extremely burdened by something that he's watching very closely. I don't know what it is. And it's like, it's causing him to feel like he needs to walk away from this emotional investment, where it be, I don't know, this company. And everybody around him is waiting, and they're like trying to save their energy with Four of Pentacles. I feel like the people in this ship at this point might even start getting like a little tired. They're like wondering what's wrong. They're kind of like trying to see, they're trying to see like what's gonna happen next. Like, are we gonna go up now? Like, is this the end of the tour now? Like, there's a point where things get awkward. They're down there. I really don't want to say this, guys. I don't want to say this because this is so controversial and this is so fucked up. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I'm going to feel so bad if I'm wrong about what I'm seeing. Because I really don't like what I'm seeing here. I don't think this was an accident. I don't think this was entirely an accident. I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of afraid of what I'm about to find. Because I already looked into his mindset. I looked into everything he's thinking. Like, he's in a dark place. And it's as if he puts everyone else in that container in the same dark place as he is. I could see someone with a smile turn away, like he's smiling at everyone, and he's turning away and just going back to, like, he's like have you ever had like a really bad day and you're trying really hard to pretend to be nice? So have you ever felt yourself like you're having a bad day and then you run into someone random that you don't want them to know that you're upset, so you could feel yourself like fake smiling to them, like your neighbor or something, like, hi, hey, how are you doing, and you're like looking at them, and then you wait until they leave, and then you go back to, like, you could feel your smile just go back to, like, shit, like have you ever done that before? I don't know why I'm seeing this. Like, I'm seeing someone, like, turn around and just be like, yeah, everything is great, everything is fine, and then they turn around and they're just like their face just drops, and the headlights of the submersible are in this person's face. I'm seeing someone in the porthole window, and the lights flash on, and it's just like almost a horror movie. Like, he's smiling, and then he's just like dark. I really don't want to say this. I really don't want to. Something tells me this was not completely an accident. I feel like the hopeful, willing ignorance of, like, oh, it's always working, or oh, I have faith in this, could have been a front or a cover for what this actually was. And I'm really sorry. I don't mean to disrespect anybody who's attached to any of these, this situation, these families. I'm really sorry for your loss. This is completely just psychic speculation, alright? But I feel like when they were down there, something happened where someone made a decision with Two of Swords about, like, their life, about, like, the entire thing in general, about everything they put into it, about how it might be over. There's a vibe of, like, I have these people's lives in my hands, and these people are just waiting. Seven of Pentacles. It's like the moment he turns the light off in the submarine, or whatever power or whatever switch it is, it's like everything goes dark, and it feels exactly like he feels inside. And it's a darkness inside that he never really expresses to people. And it's as if he feels safe to express this darkness for the first time when he's down there. Because he's like acres and acres and acres and or whatever you call it. Leagues? He's leagues and leagues and leagues down in the water, under the earth, where there's living people and society, where he has to smile. I feel like he actually cries down here. Maybe that's why he likes the submarine so much. This could be someone who has been on trips by himself in the submarine just to do this. For some, like, I don't know, for some reason I'm just seeing that. I don't want to say that though. I really don't want to see this person in a bad light. Like, I really, but I'm just picking up on, like, I don't know why he did this. Like, why did you turn off the lights? And then when they turned off the lights, that's what caused it. Because when they turned it back on, something came, like, something bumped into it, or something came into, like, did he have a breakdown? Maybe he had a breakdown. He could have had, like, a mental breakdown down there, and, like, actually, like, threatened to stop the entire thing, maybe, in front of everyone. And then maybe he turned it back on, and then something else happened. And then that's when they see this eye in this mouth. There's like a drama on the ship. There's a drama on the submarine before this happens. I don't know if it's loud. I don't know if it's quiet. I don't know. I feel like it's like he does something. I feel like he's quietly doing something. Like he quietly turns something off, and then everyone's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Like everyone gets a little bit loud with him. Like everyone's like, whoa, whoa, what are you doing? And the pilot's like, sir, what are you doing? And then they turn it back on, and he's just like, oh, I'm okay. Like, it's weird. It's kind of creepy. Like, he has that split personality thing, the voice. But it's like when the light turned off, he, like his real face showed. Something about his real face showed when he was down there. And it was like as if, like, I don't know, maybe either he didn't want anyone to come back to the surface after what they saw, how he acted. Because, you know, those people would sue the shit out of him if he had this mental breakdown down there and turned off comms. Or something, I don't know, like, something like they could have seen some, like, because there's something about this, like, he's watching something. The radar, is he watching for something? Like, something about the old structure. Four of Wands, Ace of Wands in reverse, and then Ace of Swords in reverse. Some sort of structure that traps them. It could even, but I also see this as teeth. I also could see this as teeth, like as an animal still. And then Six of Pentacles. Give what you get what you give. What is he looking at? What is he what was Rush looking at before they crashed? He was watching something very, 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 very closely, like a hawk out that window or in the machinery, that was supposed to cause him to make some sort of decision about walking away from something. I don't know. Maybe he's... I also see this as treasure. Maybe they found something in the wreck that would be valuable, or maybe he's looking for maybe he's been looking for something in the wreck, and maybe he finally sees it. And something doesn't go to plan. There's a truth that's said when they're down there, though, King of Swords. And it's giving me the vibe of, like, you can never come up to the surface knowing what this is. And that's when things get really scary. That's when things shut down. Someone here is it could be an air sign or fire sign. He tells something, so this King of Wands, this could be another person that is also kind of authority at Ocean Gate. They could be like somebody that works with him, like his coworker, but also like a bigger boss, like an executive of some sort, someone there, or someone of equal status. there's something about, like, there's a truth. I don't know who the fire sign is, I don't know who the air sign is, but there's a truth that's exchanged between these two gentlemen when they're down under the water. In this, like, while they're going on this voyage. And the sword here is telling me when he's looking at him is like, by the way, you know that you can't leave here, you can't go back up knowing this information, right? And it's as if it's a joke. It's kind of like it's kind of like a horror movie. It's kind of like how they are in movies where it's like, where he's like talking really nicely, kind of like a psycho to somebody. Not a psycho, sorry, that's so rude. Like, kind of like, not a psycho, like, you know, kind of like acting like very smiley, like very like, yeah, that's the real truth about where my money's going, ha ha ha. Like, he slips out a truth to someone there, like a big investor or a coworker, or I don't know, somebody who's a fire sign or an air sign who's similar in age to him. And the person, I could see when they're down there, the person turn to him and go, wait, what? And I could see him not look at the person and be like, yeah, this is the truth of what I've actually been doing. And, yeah, it's too bad I just can't let you guys go back up here with that information. There's something really scary about this. Like, and they're like, what? Like, almost as if they missed that. Like, missed him saying something. So I don't know if he caused this. If he could have caused this, maybe he almost attempted to. Maybe he could have attempted to sabotage the trip down due to some sort of truth that was coming out about this thing. It's like you have to go to the grave with whatever you find out in this submersible. What stays in the whatever is said in the submersible stays in the submersible. And it's truth too. With the King of Swords, it's truth and it's honesty. And he's telling it to somebody that is someone that's very action oriented. It could be like a direct supervisor or somebody that has some sort of like power, either political power or career power. And it's like him telling this person this information is really like, why would you tell me this? Why would you tell me this truth? Whatever he told this person when they were in the submarine, whatever this truth was, it's something that is like very dangerous information to hold on to. And it's kind of like, if they, like, it's the type of information where it's like, if they were to survive, or if they were to come back up to land, he would have to change his name, change his entire look, and leave town with whatever Rush told him. Because it's like, why would you tell me this? Oh my god. Like, I didn't want to know this, and like, that's, like, it was a lot to take in. And then there's a moment where they turn off the lights. And the lights could literally be the comms, the communication. But he's like, I feel like he indirectly causes it. But it's not actually, I think he could have planned to sabotage the trip, and then he might have tried to by turning off the lights on it, or something like that, like with his mindset, and then they decide, no, I'm not going to do that, I want to live, because there's these other people on here, and he turns the lights back on, and then that's when something else gets to them. And there's, I don't know, there's something in the wreckage, or something next to the wreckage, because the Four of Wands and then the Ace of Swords in reverse, it's like a house that isn't, it's old. It's like a haunted house. So I see that as the Titanic, as the haunted house. There's no new starts in it. This is really weird. Let me get into the oracles really quick, and then I'm gonna log off. But I hope you guys like this reading. I don't even know if I'm getting anything new out of this. I don't know if I have any new information out of this. Ten of Wands. Okay, yeah. There's definitely a lot of people right now, actually, that are still alive that are kind of scared of what might come out from Ocean Gate. There's something really weird that they have, some sort of information they have. Five of Wands. Yeah. This could have to do with investors. Somebody, he could have been left out of an investment or something. Something about an investor leaving them out. Five of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles is like, that just tells, I don't know, it tells me like there's competition over somebody giving them money. Maybe Ocean Gate was losing a lot of money and they were trying to get some sort of investor to invest in them so they can have a new start and have a better vehicle, or better repairs or maintenance. But there was something to do with, remember what I said about how like he's been spending the money, or like filtering the money in a strange way. He was like filtering the money in a strange way, and I don't know, there's something about maybe the investor left him out because they found out the truth about where the money was going. Because you know how when people, large investors invest in you in certain companies, or when certain companies buy out other companies, they sometimes send in an auditor, which is kind of like somebody that comes in with like to report on like what type of things that they've basically invested in by buying the company. And I feel like they could have sent in an auditor at some point, or somebody into Ocean Gate to see what what they were legitimately buying, because I feel like they were running out of money, or they were either running out of money, and or like the CEO or whoever was messing with the money wasn't, they couldn't keep up with like making it look normal, if that makes sense, like not making it look corrupt. So I don't know if somebody on that ship could have been a possible investor. Maybe that's why he felt the intense need to do this. Like maybe somebody on there was a possible investor, and I don't know. He had to look really good. He couldn't miss on this one. There could have even been something where like they saw something while they were on the ship that like broke down, and I don't know, it could have been so bad or so scary. Maybe it wasn't even the CEO that did this. Maybe the ship on itself just like shut down or turn off the lights on it, and maybe they like, this caused someone to not want to invest in something, like leave somebody out in the cold here. Like somebody's left out in the cold. Three of Pentacles, yeah. Left out of the cold, out of some sort of group of people that are working together. They need to work with them, but they're left out. To get through, get by. I heard get through, get by, get away with it. Ace of Swords, because he was trying to start something new. Six of Pentacles, he was trying to start something new. A new investment with Ten of Wands here. Because he got a message. He got a message about how he's on his own here. About how he's the only one who could be responsible for something to do with corruption in the background of this company. He could have gotten mail, or like a lot of things were going on for him. But he definitely was thinking about investing somewhere else, or trying to get an investor to give him money to start a completely different thing. Like he was trying to go to another town and another country and do another project, and do a completely different field. Like he was trying to abandon this for some reason. Because he was going to get caught or something? I don't know. King of Wands, yeah. Caught for King of Wands, Seven of Cups, getting around? Eight of Swords, jail. Oh my. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like that I'm being given this much access. I don't even know if I'm allowed to. I don't even know if I should say this. I don't even know if this is appropriate. Should I say it anyways, guys? I'm gonna say it anyways, and please don't sue me. This is completely alleged. So, there's something here about somebody getting caught up, possibly. Somebody got left out of an investment because they wanted to try something new. There could have been an investor they were talking to, but they got cut out of it, left out in the cold, because there's something, some sort of truth that could come out, or that might come out, about how this person got around. Somebody got around in terms of options, and that could just be in investors, it could be in romantic people. I feel like it's something legal. Someone who is very passionate with many different options in an illegal way that might put them in jail. In a romantic, immature, emotionally immature, romantically immature way. Now, I don't, you know exactly the type of stuff I pick up on in this channel, and I'm very sorry. I'm just saying this as this is just a psychic speculation. None of this is real. None of this is legally true. This is for entertainment purposes only. There could be also some sort of situation here where somebody here might get caught having a lot of investments illegally in passionate relationships with certain people who are underage. This person, the strange investments, the hidden investments that I was talking about could actually be in maybe different, a lot of inappropriate relationships possibly. I'm not going to say that it's the CEO. I don't want to put people on the nose like that. It could be. But I'm just going to say that somebody in that submarine or in that ship was investing in multiple options that were underage. And they could have been facing jail time, or were on the way to, or like somebody knew something, and it was like a matter of time for somebody. And this, because I see how I put this Page of Cups here, it's like something immature, right? It's like immature loves. And they, look at how sad this person is. It's not good. It's not good connections. These are not consensual. It's reminding me of that guy that got caught in the whole massage scandal with the politicians and the weird ritual island with you know, the pedo ring. I don't know why I keep getting that story in my head, but like this person has a, because there's something about how this person has a lot of money because they're like a king, they're a boss, and they were able to put that money in a lot of different places to cover up a lot of things. And I feel like there's something about how this person has a breakdown, and there's a real truth about where they've been investing things. Because Eight of Swords to me is like really jail, like being trapped. Oh my god. So something like this might come out in the document. Like I said, there might be more drama about the CEO and what happened behind the scenes regarding the company name over the submarine crash itself. But something happened on the submarine where there was like truth being said. Or like he could have even held someone hostage, or someone was being held hostage possibly right before. But I don't even know. I don't even know if that is it. Maybe. This has to do with this, again, that has to do with their job. Like, somebody used their job, they used their workplace, Eight of Pentacles, to, like, travel and do something weird with their money regarding minors. This is, like, international state lines, too. Human trafficking, possibly? And it's like, oh, now that you know, you can't go back up to the surface with this truth. Five of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. Like, this person's extremely depressed for knowing this information, or being the one that is doing this. This could have to, or maybe this could have to do with the coworkers, like something to do with the workplace. They're gonna, you know what? They're gonna find something. They're gonna find something at that office. If they don't clean it out right away, because they're trying to chalk this up as a accident. But if they don't clean out the office right away, I feel like they might. I don't know. 60 to 70%. Someone might be smart and go clean out his desk, and they might not find something. But there's something in that office. There's something in his office at Ocean Gate, in that janky little house where they dock the submarine or the lab, where there's some proof about where he's been investing his money and where overseas he's been covering things up. Like, there could even be like strange imagery. There's something on the computer, and I feel like they covered it up by like making it, oh, it's an accident, or like, oh, like this, there's nothing wrong, it's just like an accident. But like, there's something weird behind the scenes here to do with the actual boss himself, like something he was dealing with internally that low-key, like, domino effect contributed to how they crashed for some reason. And I don't know why they're making me focus on him more. Eight of Wands. Yes, something about some message he got. He could have gotten this message 3 days before the tour, or a week before. Some sort of message, or I heard a piece of mail, a letter from a doctor. He could have gotten like some sort of message from a doctor that really changed his priorities, especially when it came to working with other people. Something changed him. There's like a message he was sent. And it's something about whatever that diagnosis was that was going to expose him for something, on top of whatever this investment is. Two of Wands, and it left him being like, okay, I have to make a choice, and that choice is, I gotta be alone. I gotta make sure I don't let anyone into my mind or whatever is going on, into my plans. He became his own support system and his own thing. I think not a lot of people around him really knew what was going on with him because of this. Interesting. Sorry, I was supposed to pull out the oracles, and I kept getting drawn to the playing cards. But, okay, let me get to the oracles to see what the fuck was going on with this. What else we can get? What are some other information that you can give us about the Titan submarine crash, Spirit? What does the oracle have to say about what was going on for the Titan crash? The Titanic submersible crash. Okay. The dream world. Ooh, the anchor. Oh, no. Hey, this is confirming what I said. Somebody here isn't genuinely acting the way they do in the public. Somebody here actually isn't a good man. Someone here is a bad man. Mai Puchai? That's Thai for, like, the opposite of a man, like a fake man, a imposter. Somebody here is going to be coming out as an imposter to do with this Titan sub crash. Someone very corrupt, a very bad person who has done things that men should not do, is going to get exposed. And the way they're going to get exposed for this, whoever this is in this situation, it's going to have to do with the reason, because they didn't clean. Sage in reverse, they didn't clean out their office. Someone here didn't clean out his desk. Someone here didn't clean out Ocean Gate. They're going to get investigated, and they're going to find out someone here wasn't very good with the money. Someone here wasn't who they said they were. Someone here is very corrupt. Could have stolen. Someone behind the scenes. And it's because they don't throw anything away, or they could be hoarders. Someone here could be a hoarder. Someone in this situation could just pile a lot of things in the office, and they're going to find something in there eventually, a piece of paper that's going to crack this whole thing open. And maybe it might even expose the exact reason how they crashed. There might be even, like, might have even tried to cover up reports, like the real reports of what they wrote down in terms of, like, the damage the ship had. But it's like, it's gonna come out. Yeah, it's gonna come out, and people are gonna know exactly where it's from with where you're from in reverse. Like, there was somebody who caused the crash, and people are going to know exactly who caused it because somebody didn't clean out their paperwork, or somebody didn't get rid of the evidence in the shop or in the ship or something like that, or in the computer, and they're gonna know exactly who did it. It could have to do with technology. I feel like it's most likely technology. They're gonna find something in the technology, maybe even social media. Maybe he has some social media, or someone has social media that might expose what happened here with the ship and what happens behind the scenes. Someone here played a game. The reason why the Titan crashed is because somebody played a game here. Someone was playing chess. They knew exactly the consequences. I think someone was playing chess. I think they were playing chess with someone on the ship. This could have been a threat that went wrong. This could have been a hidden threat that went wrong. Like somebody on the ship was being threatened by him, and maybe to assert dominance or power, he could have turned off the lights on it, but then I don't know, like maybe he got what he wanted and then he turned it back on, and then boom, like they get attacked or they implode because he did something stupid to threaten someone. I don't know, to blackmail someone, because someone knows something they shouldn't. And he had like, it's like his split personality came out when he was down there. And I'm so sorry if this is disrespectful. I really don't want to like leave any stone unturned with what I see here, because I just don't want to be like, I don't want to lie about what Divine is showing me here. Someone here is a flexor. I feel like he did this to show off. Someone did this to show off something. Did I by Kaylani? But then that also could be just that Ocean Gate is just his pride and joy. And maybe somebody on there was the investor. Maybe somebody on the ship was an investor, and he was trying, that it was really important that no one knew about, and he was supposed to show off for them and flex on them with Did I by Kaylani. But maybe they knew something about him, or they found out something about him that was weird, that had to do with some sort of illegal activity, or where he was investing his money, or his something about his options and how he plays games. And maybe they said something about like, I know this about you, and then maybe someone here was like, okay, stop the lights. I could cause us to crash right now if you threaten me right now. Are you threatening me? Are you threatening us to tell the truth about Ocean Gate? Are you threatening to tell the truth about me? Someone said something about, are you threatening it doesn't even have to be Rush. It could be someone else on the ship. But someone on the ship was like, are you threatening to tell the truth about me right now? Because someone was like, now that we're down here in the ocean, nobody's recording us, and it's dark, I know this. There was a conversation that happened. It could have been very low-key. It could have been very quiet, like whispery. I know this about you. And then someone turned off the lights on it for a second, or the comms, or whatever, and was like, it could be somebody that doesn't know how to work the ship. Somebody who's not experienced in working with the submarine, like someone who doesn't know how to control it, did this. Someone who doesn't typically drive ships or typically drive submarines turned it off or pushed some weird button to threaten someone about the truth. Because there was like something about an investor or someone who wanted to invest who dropped out because they knew something about someone, and then someone threatened them and was like, okay, well, if you tell someone about that, then, you know, we could still be alive, or something like that. Like, I won't crash, or I won't turn off this submarine right now and cause us to, like, explode. But it's like, someone said that, and it's someone who doesn't know how to do that. Like, they turn off the lights on it, and then they turned it back on. Someone fought them off. It's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Turned it back on, and then the moment they turned it back on, they saw something, and that's when something happened to them. Wow, that's so weird. It's like it all has to do with something weird, like behind the scenes. In general, the submersible was not meant to go down that day. I mean, it was one ding and it was about to implode. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't
it wasn't supposed to go down that day in general. It was completely in bad shape, for sure. But somebody did something down there, someone who doesn't know how to control it, to cause them to literally do that. By mistake. I don't think it was by on purpose. It was just to threaten someone. Someone very emotionally unstable did this. And it happened really fast, like in the span of a few minutes. It was right when they got to the very bottom. You're my dream boy, dream girl. Okay, this is true. Oh my gosh, Two-Face. This could have to do with lovers or something for some of you. I don't know why. You're my dream boy, dream girl. Two-Face, malicious. See, somebody's mask comes off. See what I said? Somebody's mask came off when they were on that ship tour. When they were on that submarine tour, someone's mask came off, someone said something, or someone came out and said something or did something. And it could literally, it could be the CEO. It could be somebody, they took their happy mask off. Look how happy the mask off. Look at how happy the mask is, and then look at how it looks when he takes it off. So angry, and he has a knife behind his arm. See, there's something about how like their mask came off when they were down there. It didn't mean it to, or I don't know. Maybe they did. You're my dream boy or dream girl. I don't know what that is. Spiritual in reverse. Jealousy. What? Maybe someone was jealous of somebody else. In terms of, like, this could be a lover's quarrel for, I don't know, for some, I don't know, like, for a weird, what do you call it? For some theory. For some theories out there. This could be, like, a lover's quarrel, like, but it was, like, it's like somebody's jealous. Someone was jealous of someone else, and then there was, like, threats being made. There's a lot of stuff being exposed about this two-faced person in that 2 hours. And with the hybrid here with jealousy, it's like as if it's like they're super two-faced, like they didn't even know they were jealous. Spiritual aura in reverse. Lotus. Someone here is not spiritual. Or someone here was really against the religion, someone else's religion, or spiritual beliefs, or how they practice miracles or belief, and that's why someone would not date them. I don't know who this is. In this ship, but it's like their dream boy or dream girl. I don't know, maybe somebody here is like secretly bisexual, and this could be like a guy to another guy. I'm so sorry about what crazy shit I'm picking up on. And so somebody was jealous the whole time. Because somebody has like a same-sex crush on someone else? I don't know. Someone pretended to be spiritual or pretended to be the same religion as someone else, and they really weren't. They were really just... They were trying to get them back. They're jealous because this person doesn't like them back. This could be Rush. This could be the CEO. Maybe his coworker had a crush on him, and then he doesn't like him back. Maybe that's what happened here. He didn't like the guy back. Like had a same-sex crush. This guy's like the dream boy to this person. Could be a female too. Maybe if there was a female somewhere in here, maybe. Didn't like him back, so this guy got mad and was two-faced and pretended to believe, also with spiritual aura, which pretended to believe in what Rush believed in, to get close to him, to pretend that they came from the same place spiritually or religiously or belief-wise, and then threatened him, maybe threatened him about how he knows something about him, maybe about where he's been investing his money wrong, because he's jealous. That's weird. I'm sorry if that ends up being a massive lie and they're just trying to make me delirious with these cards, then I am so sorry. But I don't know why they made me say that. So that's weird. I Wonder by Kanye West. Yeah, there was like a weird dream here between two coworkers, two men here, and I wonder. Someone was like dreaming of being with this person, delusionally, or with someone. Someone was dreaming of being with someone on that ship, and it just went really badly. The interaction went badly. Too much was exposed. I think Rush was just too obsessed with like how he looked in front of other people because it's like you could, this is his business, and then it's like the wrong something about like this is the wrong time to bring this up, man. And then this sun in reverse. This is like the wrong time to talk about this. Like there's people here. But also, it's like, why do you even have a crush on him if he's such a bad person? Because I feel like there's something shady that this person was doing in the background that is like really, really bad with the money from Ocean Gate. And this jealous person knew about it. Or scorned lover or crush or something. Weird. Oh my gosh. Moon Pie? Secrets? Yeah, this is all gonna come out. This all might come out. How is it coming out? Poison? Poison? Maybe this is a plot. This has been a plot. Maybe this was planned. Maybe this was planned. Maybe somebody actually did mess with the integrity of the ship. Because of some secrets they had to hide. Maybe somebody has been targeting that CEO. Or somebody on that submarine was being targeted. There might be proof of this. There might be proof of like other times they tried to target this person too. But a lot of secrets are about to come out about this situation with Moon Pie. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to stop it right there before I get any deeper into this, because that was really weird. I hope you liked that. I hope that was entertaining and that made sense at all. Or if any of that had any synchronicities. If you guys could find any synchronicities from this reading that matches real life, I would love for you guys to send that to me. And let me know how this might relate to that. I'm so sorry I picked up on so many weird, random things. I'm just doing this just for fun, But if you like that, feel free to like this, comment. If you want to pass on the good dharma, help me out, feel free to send a tip to my cash tag at #gilbertpanther. But thanks guys for being here, joining me for this little reading. I'm sorry, I'm just checking on the comments now, guys. Thanks, June. I'm glad that you guys liked it. Like I said, I've never ever picked up on anything like this before, so that was kind of fun. That was really interesting to pick up on things that aren't very, not including karmic folks, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I hope that was a little entertaining. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe someone can watch this and they can find some sort of extra information that might match up with it and might help someone. I don't know. But if you guys would like me to take more looks at true crime situations, anything in the news, missing persons, cold cases that you think would be really interesting for me to pick up on, feel free to comment that. Let me know. I love suggestions. I'm not going to make this a regular thing. I am strictly a collective reader, of course, but every now and then, if I feel really called to, I feel like doing something fun, I'm gonna start doing these little true crime readings. But I hope you like that, and I'm gonna head out now and get my things together. But I hope you guys have a really good evening, and if you would like to book a personal reading, just hit me up at my email at jungleintuitive@gmail.com. And just another reminder that my PayPal is not is deactivated. It's not working right now, so I am only taking payments through cash tag. But anyways, I'll see you either tomorrow or I don't know, whenever, the day after, to be announced. And yeah, I think I also have a pick a pile that's due that is for what's next in love, so I'm definitely gonna get that done. But thanks guys for being here. All right, well, peace out. Have a nice night, guys.